Abarera Legos Rambori Banish C10 Demonio Dinaja 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 Abarera Legos Rambori Banish C10 Demonio
Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Satan and Coffee, Sunday Black Mass. It is a pleasure to see everyone. As always, as we always begin, hail Satan, hail Lilith, hail Lucifer, hail Paimon, hail Baphomet, hail thyself. We reject the Trinity. We reject the baptism of John. We reject the baptism of the Spirit. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I do apologize for the sounds in the background. The gardener is cutting the grass. Let me see if I can close the window to reduce the sound. Hopefully that reduced it a little bit. I can still hear it. I don't know if you guys can still hear it. I don't know if you could hear it to begin with, but it is what it is, right? The grass needs to get cut, and I don't have the things to do it. So, Satan and coffee. So, I kind of want to take the opportunity today. Let me see if I can get my light on. There we go. It's looking a little dark. I was kind of hiding in the shadows there. So I kind of want to take the opportunity today to talk a little bit more about kind of what we touched base on talking about on Friday with Apocrypha, right? And by that, I mean, I want to kind of touch more base on the demonolatry aspect of it. Healing through your demons, healing through Satan, healing through Lucifer, healing through Baphomet, healing through Lilith. And how does that healing work, right? How does one begin the healing process through the left-hand path and through demonolatry? Trauma is something that we all have to suffer in different levels for different reasons. Some of those reasons have to deal with people. Some of those reasons have to deal with situations. Most of those situations have to deal with people. But we all have a trauma or an issue that we have to suffer through. We have to find our way through it. First and foremost, Lucifer. Lucifer lights the path. Lucifer shows us the direction that we want to go. Lucifer helps us see the way to not feel sorry for ourselves, to not pity ourselves, to become stronger through the pain, to use the pain as fuel, to turn it into something constructive. Now, obviously, this process takes time. This process isn't immediate. Baphomet shows us the balance, how to balance our pain with our day-to-day life. If you reach out and you ask and you talk and you speak with Baphomet and you create that relationship, Baphomet will present himself, will show himself, will lend himself to you to find that balance inside of yourself. That internal balance of understanding that your pain is part of you. Your trauma, it is part of you now. And I think that that is the worst part. That's the part that most of us have the hardest time accepting, is that it will forever be a part of us. Our trauma will forever be a part of us. And we need to learn to live with it. It's not going to go away. It's not going to get necessarily easier to accept that these things happened. But these are the things that many people like to call our demons. These are our demons that we live with. And the longer it takes us to find that equilibrium, to find that balance, to find that place where we feel whole again, is because we're running from those demons. And as practitioners of the dark arts, so to speak, and as demonolatrists and Satanists and all of these things, the responsibility falls on our shoulders to work with our demons. We need not run from them. We understand that our demons are guides. Daemon, in the ancient Greek, a guiding spirit. We understand that our demons are not that of the Abrahamic ideology or dogma of what a demon is. We understand that it is not related to the popular Judeo-Christian concept of what a demon is. We understand that our demons are not there for our folly, but for our growth. We understand this. We know this. Our trauma is just another demon that we have to deal with, and I deal with it on my own, in my own way. Having all of you there to listen to what it was that I was going through, what was going through my mind, to know that those things still bother me. Those things that I've been through, those are things that I still deal with, sometimes on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes I'm lucky, and sometimes I can move a different direction, right? And not think about it that day. Sometimes. Hail me. Yeah, hail you. Two pondering pagans. What's up, Mystic? Welcome, 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 welcome to the Black Mass. And it's another reason why I believe that this book is so important for us to read and for us to understand and for us to go through. Because here, it's about you. It is hail me. It is hail you. It is hail thyself. This is not to be confused with the idea. I want to make something very clear here. We are essentially our own gods. We are. You don't need to become a living god. See what I did there? You don't need to become it. You are it. Now, this isn't to be confused to be said that you are, you know, able to sprout a tree at the snap of your fingers and create a world. Let's not go too far down the rabbit hole. But you do have power. You have ability. You don't like where you live? Move. You don't like your job? Get another one. You want to have your own business? Start one. You want to cut your hair? Cut it. You want to change its color? Change its color. You don't like your eye color? Pop in some contacts. Choices. We have the power of choice. We have the power of decision making. We control where we are and what we do. Now, for as much as I dislike being in Mexico and all of these things, you know, I make the choice to be here because what is more important to me than where I live? My child. That's the choice that I make. And inside of choices, there's sacrifices. We're never going to have a perfect situation. So let's get that one out there right now. We're never going to have a perfect situation. There is always going to be some aspect of the situation that we're in that we're not going to like. There's always going to be things that we're going to have to deal with. Always. There's always a sacrifice inside of a decision. Choices have consequences. Consequences are not inherently negative. I constantly preach this. Choices, consequences to your choices, to your decisions are not inherently negative. There are no bad decisions, there are no good decisions, there are choices and there are consequences. We define those consequences as things that we benefit from and things that we don't benefit from. If we benefit from it, we call it a good choice. If we don't benefit from it, then we call it a bad choice. But every choice, every decision has a consequence for yourself and those around you. But at the end of the day, if you want your life to change, change it. Do it. One foot in front of the other. That's it. So we're going to be going into some evidence of a new satanic age. Now this is going to be an interesting one because this one is This particular chapter has an expiration date to it. What do I mean? You have to understand that this book was written was published, it's first published in 1966, right? Was the original publishing date, if I do remember correctly. It was 1966 was the original. 1969 was the original publishing date. So the church started in 1966. This book was published in 1969. So the original publishing date was the 70s, essentially, right? We're in 2024 now. So this particular section, though valid in many ways, does have a bit of a expiration date to it. We are the architects of our own lives, and the only ones who can make a real difference on our lives. 100%, Lady Tessa. 100% without equivocation. We are the only ones that can make any meaningful change in our lives. No one can do that for you. For those looking for a relationship to change your life, stop. No friendship is going to change your life. No relationship is going to change your life. Now, it can change your perspectives, but ultimately the change in your life is the change that you make. Because you made the choice to be in that relationship. That person didn't change you. It changed your perspectives, and by changing your perspectives, or opening up your perspectives rather, you began to evolve. You began to change, right? And I don't like using change, right? I don't like using the term change when we talk about these things, because change implies something quick, like a 180, right? Like flip it on its head. Change sounds fast, right? So when we say, I need to change, like we get this immediate emotional reaction inside of ourselves that says, oh, I need to do it now. I need everything I want before I wanted it, and I wanted it yesterday. Now. No. Calm down. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale. And evolve. Evolution takes time. Patience is necessary when evolving. We do not want to change. We want to evolve. We want to become better versions of ourselves. That's another implication of change. The term or the word change is that it's something different than what you are. I need to change. I need to change this. I need to change that. It implies rapid moving of pieces and no longer being who you are, the essence of who you are as a person. Evolution, however, is an understanding that this is going to take time to implement and become something that is solid and consistent, and that this is not changing the essence of who I am as a person, those wonderful, beautiful aspects of who I am as a person, but enhancing those parts of me. Change is the permanent state of existence. Nothing stays static. Some things just change so slowly that it is, exactly. You can't tell. But at the end of the day, to dissolve and reconstitute, exactly. This is not a process that happens overnight. 100%. 100%. Hail. 100%. I love that. I absolutely love that. And that is 100% true. It is not a process that happens overnight. We may want some things to happen overnight, but we need to understand that there are so many aspects of this that take time for us to get to a certain point to be able to do something. Let's say something super difficult. Let's talk about something we don't like, people don't like to talk about. Let's say you want to end a relationship. Some people might be easy. You just, or might seem easy, right? They're just like, no, I can't do this anymore, and boom, they're gone. But for many of us, we can spend nights and days and weeks and months and things like that contemplating, is this the right decision to make? Should I be making this decision? I don't want to hurt this person, right? Because anyone with half a heart, though we understand that a situation that we might be in is not good for us, we still don't want to hurt the other person, right? You still don't want the other person to be in pain, right? Right? You want to essentially let them down slowly and gently. Unfortunately, there's no way of doing that. But it takes time to build up the determination and the courage to be able to have that conversation with someone. To be able to sit down with someone and have that conversation and be, look, this isn't working for me. Like, I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not invalidating this time that we've spent together, but it's not working anymore. You know, it takes time to build up to that. Sometimes it's a situation, yes, where it's better just to rip the Band-Aid off and instead try to like pick it off little by little. But it is an example of the type of change that, you know, some people want to make. And it's not an easy change to make. Change, like evolution in that manner, isn't easy. Choices and decisions have consequences, and they affect those. Sometimes those consequences affect the people around us. It might be a good consequence for us. It might be to our benefit, but it may not feel like it's to the benefit of the other person. We can try to console ourselves and say, if it's the benefit for me, it's the benefit for them, which may or may not be true. We can't decisively say, you know, yes, this is good for me, so it's good for them. Because what is good for us may not be good for somebody else, at least in that moment, right? It may open up other opportunities for other, other situations, other people, things like that down the line. But in that moment, it may not be good for them. So these are things, evolution takes time. And this is just an example. This is the best example that I can give. Same thing, another example, more positive example, exercise. You want to have, you know, a better looking body. You want to be thinner. You want, you know, well, it takes choices and time. Exercise and eating healthy. You know, it's time. You're not going to start working out and then the next day wake up and look like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's not going to happen. Actually, if you don't take any TRT, you're never going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. Right? Slim, thank you very much for the $6.66. Thank you. Every bit is appreciated. I am grateful. So everything takes time. Your choices and the changes that you make, you are evolving. You are going in the direction that you want to go in. Just understand it is an evolution. It's not an immediate change. It's not a switch that you flip. And the reason this is important to understand, that it is evolution and not change, because change sounds simple. Change is just do it. It's like, I'm sorry, but this isn't a Nike ad. It's not as easy sometimes to say, just do it. Evolution, what happens inside of evolution? Sometimes things die as they're evolving, right? They hit that evolutionary point and nature's just like, nope. And it stops. What happens as we are evolving emotionally and mentally and spiritually? Sometimes our mind, our essence, who we are says, nope, not happening. Can't do this. Not feeling it today. It happens to me all the time. More often than I would like to admit. That I wake up in the morning, I have my alarm clock set for 4:30, a second one for 5 o'clock. The latest I want to get up is 5 o'clock, so I do the 4:30 thing, so I'm already kind of like halfway there, and then I get up at 5. There are mornings that second alarm goes off at 5 o'clock, and in my mind, I'm just like, fuck it. Fuck everything. Fuck this. Fuck waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting up 15 minutes before I have to get to work and fucking, whatever. That is the part of evolution that is going into my head, saying that my personal evolution, saying, nope, not today, not today. We're not doing it today. And there's days I skip. I skip days. I'll skip workout days. I feel like absolute shit afterwards. And for me, that's my motivator for the next day to go at it. I tell myself, and I say, okay, I skipped a day. I work out 5 days, or I work out 5 days a week. So I was like, I'm right. Skip the day, fine. It's okay. Nothing. My gains are not going to stop because I skipped 1 day of working out. It's not going to stop, right? 1 day that I decided to have 2 donuts instead of 1. It's not going to completely destroy my gains. I'm allowed this break in my evolution, which is the beautiful thing about human evolution. About us evolving spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Is that we're allowed to take a pit stop and say, I need to catch my breath. We're allowed to do that. We're permitted to do that. What I do, for example, one of the big things for me on my day-to-day schedule is making my bed in the morning. Every morning when I get up, before I do anything else, the first thing I do is make my bed. To allow myself the ability to not feel so locked in all the things that I do. On Saturday and Sunday, I don't make my bed. I don't. Because I spend a lot of time in bed on the weekends, sitting there watching TV, fucking around on the laptop, all that stuff. Spend a lot of time in my bed on the weekends. So I don't make my bed on the weekends. Come Monday morning, I make my bed. Right? Sunday night, I change my sheets. Fresh blanket, all that stuff. Jump right in the bed. Like, I don't even really bother 100% making it because I'm doing it and then jumping in to go to sleep. Monday morning, I make my bed. So I allow myself a break inside of that. To have a schedule, to have a routine, does not mean that you have to stick to the fucking thing 100%. You do not need to be 100% all the time. You cannot be 100% all the time. And I will tell you right now, planning a failure helps you to not actually fail, to not quit what you're doing. So if you're on that fitness journey and you start going to the gym and you start eating healthy and shit like that, and you know, let's say you're on it for 2 months, you're doing fucking great, everything's going great for 2 months, you're 100%, you have a bad day, and on that day you're like, fuck it, I don't give a shit, I'm gonna eat a fucking cake, right? And not touch a weight today because I don't fucking care. Tell you what, if in that first 2 months, each week you allowed yourself a day where you could eat whatever the fuck you wanted, didn't matter how many of her calories, didn't fucking matter. Didn't matter. Once a week, you could eat whatever the fuck you wanted. Right? The likelihood of you having that breakdown day after 2 months where you're just like, fuck it, I don't care, and then you feel like shit afterwards, and then you don't want to do it because you hate yourself, the likelihood of that happening is significantly smaller because you're allowing yourself to live. We can't exist in a space where we're not allowed to live. And the left-hand path teaches us this. Satan teaches us this. Lucifer teaches us this. Baphomet, above everything, Baphomet teaches us this. Baphomet teaches us we need to live in balance. And balance is not throwing yourself to one side and throwing yourself to the other side. It's having that equilibrium that is good for you. Not for everybody else, not what somebody else says, what is good for you. And that's with everything. That's with food, exercise, sex, relationships, everything, fun, right? Alcohol, drugs. That is with everything. Moderation, control, and balance. If you are living outside of functionality, you are not in balance. If you are incapable of functioning, you're not living in balance. You're not living in your balance. What your balance is not going to be my balance. You might not be interested in working out. Okay, fine. You don't have to be interested. You don't have to give a shit about working out. That's just an example. Right? If that's not on your plate, that's not on your plate. Yours might be work life, right? Having time for your fucking kids and still being able to fucking grind at work and make a buck. That might be where you need to find balance. Right? Maybe you're realizing you have an addiction. Maybe you're realizing that, you know what? I drink too much. But you don't want to stop drinking. Well, maybe it's time to find some balance. Right? Inside of that. Balance is represented differently, but Satan, Lilith, Lucifer, Baphomet, they all teach us. The left-hand path teaches us how to live for us, what is good for us. Treating yourself. Mr. West, welcome. So the left-hand path teaches us to respect ourselves, to respect who we are as people, our spirit, our body, and to be the most powerful versions of ourselves. That is what the left-hand path teaches us. That is what Satan and Lucifer and Baphomet teach us. And this doesn't go to the extreme, like, oh, you can't get tattoos. Oh, you can't do drugs. Like, if you do things in moderation, exactly, having a cadence and balance is essential. Exactly. That flow, right? That flow. Like, I will never stop preaching balance. Working with Baphomet at the level that I have worked with Baphomet, and having the understanding of balance that I do through working with Baphomet is one of the most insane things that has ever been given to me. If it wasn't for Baphomet, I would probably be a crackhead in a fucking crack house, curled up in the fetal position in the corner someplace, waiting to just fucking die. And that's just truth. That's just fucking truth. That's raw, hard, fucking cold truth. If it wasn't for Baphomet, that's where the fuck I would be. To be able to have the understanding that the things that are happening in my life are lessons, and that through those lessons I can achieve balance, though right now I feel completely imbalanced. That using the left-hand path, using demonolatry, working with Baphomet, calling on Baphomet, being in ritual, deep-seated ritual, having that communication with Baphomet, knowing Baphomet is there, to be able to provide me that balance. There's nothing else that I can say. There's nothing else I can say. It's something that you have to experience. You have to experience. Excellent, Mr. West. Excellent. Welcome to the show. It's good to have you. Satan, Lilith, Lucifer, Hymen, Baphomet. So, some might ask why I chose those specifically. Right? So, Satan, the adversary. This is my interpretation. You might see it differently. This is how I see it and why I chose these names. Satan, the adversary. Be adversarial to those things that want to destroy you. Do not bow your head in weakness and pious and allow destruction to happen to you in your temple. Be adversarial to that which wants to destroy you. Lilith. Maternal love, but strength beyond measure. Violently protect that which is yours. Violently protect that which is yours. And be caring and compassionate to those that want or deserve your compassion and your caring. Lucifer. The bearer of light. The shower of paths. Sometimes we always stumble in the darkness. We fall down and we don't know what way to go. How to get out of the hole that we're in. Lucifer will show you the way. Lucifer will show you the way. Hymen. Creativity. If you want to be able to make money, to be able to be successful, to think outside of the box and find opportunities, creativity. It's an overgeneralization. Obviously, Hymen is more focused on the arts, but creativity. Being creative doesn't mean drawing a picture. Being creative doesn't mean that you work in graphic design. Being creative doesn't necessarily mean, you make music or you paint paintings. Sometimes being creative is figuring out an opportunity to make money where there wasn't one before. Okay? Sometimes being creative is being able to figure out a place to sleep when you don't have one. Sometimes being creative is figuring out where your next meal is coming from because you don't know. Creativity doesn't necessarily stop at being artistic, and I take Hymen on full thread for that type of creativity as well. The creativity of survival. And going deeper into the creativity of being able to be successful. To survive, you need to be creative. To succeed, you need to be creative. So hail Hymen. And then the last on the list, but certainly not least, is Baphomet. The ability to balance all of that. And to know when certain things are needed and when they are not needed. And balance inside of yourself. Eternal balance of oneself. So at the beginning of the show, when you guys hear me say, hail Satan, hail Lilith, hail Lucifer, hail Hymen, hail Baphomet, this is the reason I chose these. And the reason I put them in the order that I put them in. No, thank you, Mr. West. Thank you for being here. This message means nothing if there's no one to hear it. So, for those that may have been wondering, that is why I chose those particular deities, entities to call upon at the beginning of the Mass. As I see Satan as adversary, an adversary is not always baneful. An adversary is one who challenges and tests you as you grow from lover to acquaintance. Yes, that's 100%. It's 100%. It's also representative of being adversarial, right? Being adversarial towards things like an adversary is just something that is against, right? So when you're adversarial, you're the adversary, right, is the enemy, right? Well, if you are adversarial towards things that are trying to destroy you, it fits perfect into that, to become the adversary to that which would have you destroyed, to understand and identify your enemy and be the enemy of your enemy, right? Which I think is an important thing to understand, because too often in religions and Abrahamic faiths and Judeo-Christian religions, there is this idea of not being adversarial to your enemy, to show compassion to your enemy. And this is where the Satanic Bible comes in full circle for me. Is one of the biggest things in here is the idea is that if you show compassion to your enemy, then are you not at the mercy of your enemy, which wishes to destroy you? If you are to show compassion and caring and understanding to who wishes you dead, to wishes your destruction, are you not placing yourself in the hands of the mercy of who that wishes to destroy you? That is 100% what you are doing by showing compassion to your enemy, to that which wishes to destroy you. You are putting yourself in a position that is at the mercy of that person or that entity. Do not show compassion to your enemy. Be the adversary of your enemy. Be the enemy of your enemy. Be adversarial to those that wish to destroy what is yours and who you are. And sure, compassion, when undeserved, is a form of being controlled by your enemy. Exactly. And who wants to be controlled by their enemy? And there are just many situations that I could give as examples to how that's just a horrible fucking thing, to put yourself in that position, to be at the mercy of somebody that wants to hurt you. No, do not do that. Do not put yourself in that position. Do not put yourself in a position to allow yourself to be controlled by someone that wishes to harm you. Destruction does not mean dying. Somebody wishing to destroy you and destroy that which is yours does not mean physical destruction or actually physically attacking you. There are a lot of different ways that this comes about. Emotional manipulation, gaslighting, hundreds of thousands of different ways that we can go about this. But those that do not want to see you succeed and wish for you to fail are thine enemy and should be treated as such. Be adversarial to that which wishes to destroy you and yours. We haven't even started reading yet, guys. So we need to kind of get the ball rolling here. We need to start this chapter. Right? I mean, it's been a good mass so far. It's been a good mass so far. But I do want to get some of the reading in. So we're going to read a page or so here and kind of get into what we got going on. The 7 deadly sins of the Christian church are greed, pride, envy, anger, gluttony, lust, and sloth. Satanism advocates indulging in each of these sins, as they all lead to physical, mental, or emotional gratification. So this is a big thing here as well, and I think in the left-hand path in general, not just Satanism. The physical, mental, and emotional gratification is extremely important in your life. This does not mean to not take into consideration the effect or consequences that your actions have on others. Okay? There is a certain level of respect that is required. So let's say a husband or a wife cheating on their spouse. If sexual intercourse with another person that is not your spouse is going to provide you the physical gratification that you're looking for, then have that conversation with your spouse. Present them the option. We either end this or we open it up. Make sure that they are aware of it. Because part of respecting yourself is respecting those that deserve your respect. And your spouse, outside of specific situations of abuse and things like that, but your spouse should be one of those people that deserve the respect of you being open and honest and saying, this is what I need for my physical gratification. You provide me the emotional gratification. I feel like I need more for my physical gratification, and I open that door to you as well. So we either end this or we open it up. That is how I would go forth with something like that. Just a simple example for the physical gratification aspect, mental gratification, emotional gratification. There's a million different things that we can go over to talk about all of these things. A Satanist knows there is nothing wrong with being greedy, as it only means that he wants more than he already has. Envy means to look with favor upon the other possessions of others, and to be desirous of obtaining similar things for oneself. Envy and greed are the motivational forces of ambition, and without ambition, very little of any importance would be accomplished. This is 100% correct. This is 100% correct here. Greedy doesn't need to mean wanting everything. Greedy, when we think of greedy, we think of I want everything. I want all of this one thing. I don't want anyone else to have it. I want to have it. I'm reading the only version I know of, Nocturne. It's the only version I know of. This is on page 46, by the way. If you're reading along, if you have the Satanic Bible and you're reading along, I'm on page 46. I just finished reading paragraph 2. On page 46, some evidence of a new satanic age. If you guys are reading along. Ambition does require greed and envy. You see something somebody else has, you want that thing, so you bust your ass to get that thing. It is the function of fucking capitalism. Capitalism would not exist without these two sins. Without greed and envy, capitalism wouldn't exist. End of story. Capitalism would not exist without these two things. Okay? It just is what it is. And as I always say, be grateful, never satisfied. Be grateful, never satisfied. I'm going to say that one more time. Be grateful, never satisfied. Be grateful for everything you have. It's essentially saying, I am not where I want to be, but I am thankful and I am grateful that I am not where I was. I'm going to say that one more time. I am not where I want to be, but I am thankful and I am grateful that I am not where I was. Be grateful, never satisfied. Those two things in conjunction are extremely important. Because desire to move forward without being grateful, without being grateful of that what you have moved forward, makes you fucking toxic. Makes you toxic. Be grateful, never satisfied. When you're satisfied, what happens when you're satisfied with your dinner? You stop eating, right? What happens, when you're satisfied other ways? You lie down, you go to sleep, right? Right? Maybe smoke, maybe you smoke a cigarette, whatever, lie down, pass the fuck out, right? You stop. When you're satisfied, you stop. That's the point. When you are satisfied with something, you stop doing what you're doing. You stop moving. Be grateful, never satisfied. Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for but always be fucking hungry. Always be fucking hungry. Because the moment you stop moving, the moment you stop trying to learn, you stop trying to grow, you stop trying to be better, you stop trying to get more. That's it, man. That's it. Pick out the plot and buy your box. You're done. Be grateful, never satisfied. 100% in stopping satisfaction is also natural. Yeah, exactly. No, it's 100%, and it provides control. I'm grateful for everything that I have. I'm grateful for my audience. I'm grateful for my hardware. I'm grateful for my home, my son, right? I'm grateful for a great many things. I still want more. I want a bigger house. I want another car. I want a better computer. I want different headphones. I want a hardcover of the Satanic Bible. I'm grateful that I have a copy of the Satanic Bible. I want a hardcover version. I am grateful but never satisfied. Be grateful but never satisfied. Because being grateful, remembering where you came from and where you are, being grateful for that evolution, that movement forward, that evolution in your life, that evolution in your person, being grateful for that is key to so many things, because it means that you are going to show the respect that is deserved to the people that you have around you, that deserve your respect. They will respect you. They will believe in you. And this is one thing when we talk about power. True power comes from power over people, and power over people is when people believe in you for real reasons, because people believe in who you are. People believe in what you stand for. So people will follow you to the ends of the fucking earth if they can believe in you. But if you're a piece of shit and you're not grateful for the people that you have around you, nobody's going to pull you off the ledge if they see you're going to fall. They're just going to let your ass tumble. We are social creatures that require the support of other people around us. And sometimes it is necessary that we get our heads so far in the fucking clouds, we can't see that the path is ending and we need to turn, and we're going to jump right off the fucking cliff. And sometimes those people that are following us because they believe in us, family, friends, employees, co-workers, doesn't matter, bosses, they're going to see you're going to jump off that fucking edge and they're going to grab you and they're going to pull you back. Hey, slow it down. Be grateful, never satisfied. Gluttony is simply eating more than you need to keep yourself alive. When you have overeaten to the point of obesity, Another sin, pride, will motivate you to regain an appearance that will renew your self-respect. This is 100% true. This is 100% true. And we all have our gluttonous moments. We all have our I have my gluttonous moments. My weakness are donuts. That's donuts and pumpkin pie. Those are my two weaknesses. I will fuck up a pumpkin pie like there is no tomorrow. I will not give a slice to any. I will eat a whole pumpkin pie to my fucking self. I don't care. If it's been a while since I've had one. But I love pumpkin pie. And Bavarian cream-filled and jelly-filled donuts. And I also like the apple fritter ones with the cinnamon on top, like the Krispy Kreme donuts with the cinnamon on top and the apple inside. Oof. Oh, those are so fucking good. I could probably fuck up a box of those. But what happens the next day? My pride kicks in and I bust ass at my workout. I go an extra hour on my workout. It's okay to be gluttonous sometimes. Just let your pride ride you out. Question. I have a few books in my library I've been reading, such as The Devil by Jeffrey Burton, Russell, Lucifer's Court by Ayn Rand, and The Infernal Gospel by Reverend Kane. Would you recommend these? So, Mr. West, that is a very valid question. The only book that I've ever read regarding Satanism is the Satanic Bible, first and foremost. Now, I've read other books. I've got books in front of me, the Black Arts, which is almost like an encyclopedic knowledge of the Black Arts and the history of it. The complete book of Black Magic and Witchcraft. I've read that one. That's a great book. They have a lot of detail in there, and they kind of avoid the basics, setting up your altar and doing this and all that shit. My suggestion to everyone that asks me what to read, things like that, read what you feel attracted to, one. If you feel attracted to it, read it. Interpret it. Do not take it as gospel. That's the first step. Do not take it as gospel. I don't take this as gospel. I read this as a form of philosophy because I am theistic. I'm not atheistic. Right? So I take this book as a form of philosophy, a way to live your life, almost like an extended 10 Commandments, essentially. Right? There's so much knowledge in here. There's so much in here that can be applied theistically and atheistically. But my suggestion to anyone that asks me, ritual. Read your books, take in your knowledge, apply what you believe is accurate to you. Don't listen to anyone else. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anyone. Listen to you. That's what this is about. The left-hand path, Satanism, theistic, atheistic, demonolatry. These books are guides, not gospel. At the end of the day, this is about you and what you want, what you need, what you're working for. And in that light, the one thing that I suggest to anyone is ritual work. Do a ritual, open up a line of communication with an entity that you want to work with. And don't sit there for 10, 15 minutes. Take your time, get comfortable, get one of those giant poofs that you see like on those meditation things, like a little disc pillow type thing, right? Crisscross applesauce, sit down on that poof, light those candles, light that incense, slap on whatever music's gonna fucking make you vibe spiritually, and just fucking go. 2, 3, 4 hours. Trust me, when you're done, and you'll know when you're done, you're gonna come out of the thing of what the fuck just happened. what the fuck just happened? That's my biggest suggestion to anyone. Books are written by men. We're talking about working with the infernal. We're talking about working with spirits. We're talking about working with demons and devils and things on another level of existence. We can learn much from those that have experienced what we're trying to experience. But we need to experience it. So that's the biggest thing that I can offer. Anyone who buys an article of clothing for the purpose other than covering his body and protecting it from the elements is guilty of pride. 100%. I like to look good. Satanists often encounter scoffers who maintain that labels are not necessary. It must be pointed out that these destroyers of labels, that one or many articles they themselves are wearing, are not necessary to keep them warm. There is not a person on this earth who is completely devoid of ornamentation. The Satanist points out that any ornamentation of the scoffer's body shows that he too is guilty of pride, regardless of how verbose the cynic may be in this intellectual description of how free he is. He is still wearing the elements of pride. Pride, gluttony, envy, greed, all necessary sins. One thing we must not forget that the Bible itself says, and I hate saying this, but the Bible says it, and so I'm going to use it. The Bible itself says that God is not the God of this earth. Satan is. Satan is the king and God of the earth. That being said, the work we do is to the proper king and God of the earth that we live upon, of the planet that we're in, on floating through space, spinning at millions of miles an hour. Do not subscribe to Judeo-Christian dogma or Abrahamic dogma. I do not subscribe to those beliefs. Do not believe in a singularity form of all powerfulness like God. But I do believe that Satan and Lucifer have significantly more power than is led to believe. The sins were created as sins to put in the seeds of control, to stop people from rising up, to stop people from asking for more money, right? Somebody asks, they're working, and they're like, hey, I want a raise, man. Like, you asked me to start doing this, like cleaning up the dog, like the cow shit. Instead of just feeding the cows, now I have to clean up the cow shit too. So, you know, I want a couple extra silver pieces, you know, to my pay, right? And, you know, oh, well, it's blasphemous to ask for more money. How dare you ask for more money? Be grateful for the job that you have and stop being greedy. The whole boy is taking in, you know, 300 gold pieces a day, paying old boy 2 silver pieces for the work he does. Right? That's what the sins are designed for. Like, keep that in mind. Like, these sins were designed to stop people from growing in society. Right? Pride. Royalty. Think about royalty, right? Like, I mean, for fuck's sake, I mean, think about the Pope, all right? Like, think about how the Pope has a big fucking hat, man. Like, a big fucking hat with jewels in it, Like a really big fucking hat. Cardinals hats, those are a little bit smaller, you know. Just a priest, you know, the fucking scarf he wears with all the fucking shit on it, right? That's fucking pride, man. But all of that shit was designed, like you think of how royalty would dress. They were prideful in how they looked because they had money. They didn't want the common folk to look the same way as fucking royalty. So what they do is they turn around and they say, well, no, you can't. No, wanting to wear purple? No, that's pride. What do you have to be proud of, right? Don't be prideful. Be humble. Be grateful and satisfied in your brown shit looking fucking robe. Don't wish to excel. Stay where you are. That's what it was designed to do. We, as demonologists, as Satanists, as the left-hand path, understand that that is absolute bullshit designed only for control. That's what it is. Religion is definitely behavioral based to control. And yeah, exactly. Control and manipulate. 100%. Without fucking question. Without fucking question. Anyway, everyone, if you haven't liked yet, please like, subscribe. Okay? Do that, please. It helps out a lot. Share wherever you want to share it. Throw it up on the socials somewhere. All right? Share the live. Share the video. That is going to be it for today. Thank you all very much. And as always, hail Satan. Hail Lilith. Hail Lucifer. Hail Pyman. Hail Baphomet. Hail thyself. We reject the Trinity, we reject the baptism of John, and we reject the baptism of the Spirit. This has been Satan and Coffee, Sunday Black Mass. I'm Adius Dade. You'll have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, hail thy fucking self. I'll see you in the next one, guys.